Welcome to Buckeyes Tomorrow Morning for Sunday, November 9th. I'm your host, Tom Orr. The UCLA game is in 6 days. The game against Michigan in 20 days. Holy smokes, 20 days. Goodness. If you're planning your next event, make it unforgettable with Grateful Griddle, Columbus's favorite food truck, serving up smash burgers, gourmet sandwiches, and good vibes. Book your catering today at gratefulgriddleoh.com. Tom Orr, joined by Tony Gerdeman here in Ross-Ade Stadium in West Lafayette, West Lafayette, Indiana. It is Buckeyes win 34-10. Yeah,
they sure did, Tom.
They sure dynamite drop in, Monty. Yeah, they win 34-10. It was a game where you had some weird stuff. They were shorthanded in some areas, and no Josh Padilla, no Phillip Daniels, no Carnell Tate. And
no Tywone Malone.
No Tywone Malone. Yeah, they were just kind of shorthanded in a couple areas. Not anything that's like a real concern, but shorthanded in a couple areas. And it sounds like that really kind of played into how Ohio State approached things.
Yeah, especially on offense. We saw some rotation on the offensive line, but also with so many different receivers playing as well, because Carnell Tate can do everything that you need. He can play in the slot. He can be a Z. He can be an X. But without him, and you need a slot, well, you've got to go grab a slot. If you need an X, you got to go grab an X. You need a Z, because we saw Mylan Graham, we saw David Adolph, we saw Bryson Rogers, X, Y, Z, basically in terms of trying to fill some of those roles. And no Quincy Porter, also the freshman receiver, kind of clouded some things there as well. But it still was good to see Bryson Rogers get out there and get targeted. Mylan Graham get out there and get targeted. So. Yeah, it was not ideal, but also maybe it was.
Well, and you look at the stats at the end of the game, and the whole game, it just kind of felt like, the gif of the, poking the thing with the stick, like, do something. It kind of felt like that at times, where it was just, they were just sort of being a little bit deliberate with anything. And then you look at Julian Sain's final stat line, and he's 27 for 33 for 303 yards and a touchdown and one pick. And, you complete 80-something% of your passes again, and 300 yards passing, and the interception was not a great decision, but it was another, for a day when you don't have one of your top receiving targets, it was a perfectly fine day.
Yeah, any other time you look at those, and if that wasn't like Julian Sain, you'd be like, well, gosh, a quiet day for Julian Sain, completing 80-some% of his passes and 303 yards, and I think it would all look much better with like 307 yards with just, a couple of 2-yard touchdown passes thrown in there, which was also one of the things that kind of struck me with this game. Like they had those opportunities and basically chose not to take them and just, let's just keep it on the ground, whatever. Everybody's expecting you to take a cheap touchdown through the air, and it's like doesn't happen. So it's like, well, that's, if you don't want us to care, if you don't care, and then don't expect us to care, basically.
Yeah, there were 2 C.J. Donaldson rushing touchdowns. At one point, they took Julian Sain off the field, brought Lincoln Kienholz onto the field for a rushing touchdown. It was just kind of, it was like we will show you how much we don't care about. When we say we're not worried about stats or the Heisman Trophy, we're going to show you how much we don't care about stats or the Heisman Trophy. And they still were up 34-3. They gave up a late touchdown, but it was one of those games where it was 3-0 Purdue in the first quarter, and I took a picture of the scoreboard because I'm like, well, this will be a thrill for Purdue fans. This is like a little benchmark of progress for them. That it's the end of the first quarter, and they got Ohio State off the field on their first drive, and they had a long drive and ended up kicking a field goal, and you're leading Ohio State, and it's like, all right, well, and then Ohio State goes right down and scores a touchdown, and it was, the game was never really in doubt, but it was also never really, it took a while to kind of put it away. Purdue student section was chanting overrated at points in the second half, and it's like, well, I mean, they're winning by 3 touchdowns in your stadium, and so technically they're not covering the spread right now, but also that's a little bit of a cell phone.
Did you get the photos of the student section, the male student section up there taking their shirts off?
Yes, twirling their shirts. Yes.
The college football thing that is taking
the meme of the year.
Yes, it's taking the world by storm. Even saw Boilermaker Purdue Pete and Brutus go up there, kept their shirts on, but they were up there.
Yeah, it was a perfectly fun day of college football.
The crowd stayed until what, halftime?
The student section kind of was about half empty after halftime, but Ohio State, there was a good Ohio State contingent. It was not, I'm sure on TV it looked like it was 90% Ohio State fans here. That's because the side of the stadium that the cameras are showing was all Ohio State fans. The side that was on the same side as the cameras that you couldn't see on TV, that was pretty much all Purdue fans. So, but I mean, it was probably about a 50-50 crowd, and the Ohio State fans I think got what they came for. The first drive, it looked like, oh man, here we go. The show has begun. Bo Jackson rips off a 70-yard touchdown and ends up getting called back on a block on the back on Jeremiah Smith, and it was just kind of like you thought, oh boy, here we go. And then
even that one, it was good to see him reach the end zone this time because he's been caught from behind previously. So he finally gets there, and what are you going to do? Bench Jeremiah Smith? No,
right, no.
I'm just hoping he doesn't bench me, basically.
Yeah.
But just good to see him reach the end zone, even though it doesn't count. Like he got there.
Yeah.
He outraced everybody,
and he made up for it later by getting thrown the ball 10 times and having 10 receptions for 137 yards and a touchdown. I don't have a question. It's just kind of like, yeah, man, that was cool.
Don't you guys agree?
Don't you hate pants?
It's the great thing is you never know what you're going to see, but if you give them the opportunities, you're going to see something pretty cool.
Yeah. On defense, a nice balanced day for everyone. It was, Peyton Pierce had 7 tackles, Sonny Styles 5, Caleb Downs 4, Jalen McClain 4, Caden McDonald 4, all solo tackles. But it was just, they only had 41 tackles. Purdue had 83 tackles. Ohio State only had 41 tackles. It was a game where I came in thinking, well, Purdue's game plan is going to be to run the clock as much as possible and limit Ohio State snaps. And if that was the game plan, they failed about as hard as you could possibly fail.
They did. And I think it was maybe at the start of the fourth quarter, I looked, and there were only 12 Ohio State players that had defensive statistics. It's like, generally you see more than that, but because they're not on the field very long, like there's just, then they get into the backups and you start seeing different names. But it was like, are they not keeping track of stats anymore? Is this just what's going on here? But they held them in check after that first. It wasn't the 9-minute drive that they did against Michigan, but it was like the 5-minute version of that ended with the field goal. Yeah,
the opening drive, 6 plays, 15 yards, they punt it. Second drive, 12 plays, 70 yards, get a field goal out of it, 5:29 off the clock. But after that, 4 plays, 19 yards, punt, 2 plays, 10 yards, interception, 3 plays, 5 yards, punt, 5 plays, 20 yards, punt, 3 plays, 5 yards, punt. And at that point, they get the ball back with 6:19 left in the game. Ohio State's got all their backups in, and then they go 10 plays, 75 yards for a touchdown. If you go through and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drives in a row where they never get past 20 yards and it's 4 punts and an interception, you're not going to win very many games with that. And this is a Purdue team that just last week went up to Ann Arbor and was competitive. It was 21-16. And they looked okay, and they had moments, but they couldn't really string it together. This was kind of Ohio State, even playing sort of lethargic at times, just kind of made Purdue go squish, and there was not a lot of drama there.
No, and they were methodical. I think in our bold predictions, you had maybe like 3 90-second drives, touchdown drives, and that was not the game plan today.
No,
this was 90 yards, 8 minutes. But even the Purdue stuff there with they get the one drive and then that's it. Everything gets shut down, and everybody's just crisp after that until you get the bench out there, and then they go down there. And it is what it is. It's a learning experience for those guys. So you don't hold anything against them, Tom. Don't be angry. They'll be better for it, and they'll also never want to do it again.
And, this was a game where Ohio State just it felt like Ohio State was just sort of workshopping stuff. Just like, we're going to try this. And, okay, here's the scene. Ready? All right.
Is it improv?
Yeah, it was improv. And it was, okay, here's the scene. There's 47 seconds left. You're going to get the ball starting at the 24-yard line. And you've got no timeouts. And you've got to get the ball down to, do you want to score a touchdown? No. We're going to get the ball down. We're going to let Jaden Fielding try a long field goal because the drive was nothing but checkdowns. It was just all, and it was very clearly like you could take a shot. No, just check. Okay, so the scene is we're going to set Jaden Fielding up for a 49-yard field goal. Go, and they did, and they went boom, 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 boom right down the field, and never once even looked at a downfield shot. It was just, okay, boom, 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 lots of sideline routes, 8 yards, 12 yards, 13 yards, 8 yards again, whatever it was. Boom, boom, boom. Set up a 49-yard field goal. He drills it, hit a 45 or 46 yarder later. I thought that was great to see, because he's been good, but he's missed a couple. And everything that's outside of about 45, you always kind of go, how's this going to go? And both of them were good with plenty of leg. I thought that was a really nice, it was a nice way for Julian Sayin to be in a little bit of a live fire 2-minute drill. That was good. He set up what they were trying to set up. You hit a couple long field goals. That was, I thought, a nice little side benefit.
Yeah, for sure. And I think you're going to find a lot of those, and the coaches will throughout this, while media is complaining, fans are complaining, or just nitpicking or whatever. Coaches are like, well, this was good to see. This was good to have. This was good that these kicks went through. So the positives that the coaches are going to find for this, probably more than the positives that you and I or the fans out there will find.
Sure. So, all right, so the Buckeyes handle business 34-10 over Purdue. Next up, UCLA. After that, Rutgers. After that, you know what happens after that. 20 days away from the game against Michigan. 27 days away from what could be a Big Ten championship game against Purdue if both the Buckeyes and the Hoosiers handle their business before then. Man, oh man, would that be an exciting football game. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to covering all of the fun of November. You always remember November, as Ohio's Lieutenant Governor once said. We will be there for every step of the way through November and December and potentially January as well, as the Buckeyes try to wrap up an unbeaten regular season, Big Ten championship season, and potentially a national championship season as well. All their goals on the table. We'll be there for every step of the way at BuckeyeHuddle.com and at YouTube.com/BuckeyeHuddle. That'll do it for today. Thank you guys all for joining us. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.